Everybody, welcome back to Bite Time. Harry McCullough here. We're expecting some cold weather over the weekend to come down the area, and it's certainly a time where you have to be capable of worrying about your pipes, but also worried about staying warm, and part of that is heaters and heater safety is what we're talking about next. Chief Corey Henry of the Houma Fire Department is here, along with Raymond McGuire, who's an inspector with the Houma Fire Department. So, guys, thanks so much for being with us. It's going to be cold, but this is a dangerous time of the year for folks if they don't do things right. Huh?
It is. Obviously, everybody wants to keep warm during these times. So, if you don't have a central heating area, most people rely on the space heaters. There are a lot of great deals out there on the internet, or maybe some old heaters that people have had in their homes for many years. Just be cognizant of those things. Make sure that, it may be a good deal, or it may not cost you any money just to use the one you already have. But the newer features have been tested by, for example, like Underwriters Laboratory. So you want to make sure it's been tested by one of those companies. You want to make sure when you do use those, you keep them 3 foot, like a 3 foot safety circle around. That way nothing can get overheated from the heat from them. Make sure that the cord's in good shape and it's plugged directly into the wall. You don't want to use any extension cords because you may not use the right size cord, and that can start a fire. With that, you want to make sure it's on a flat surface so it doesn't tip over easy. And most of the newer heaters now have a safety switch on them, so if they tip over, they will shut themselves off.
So most of the ones now are coils, right? And that's how it produces the heat.
Most of them.
And I grew up with gas heaters. We had to get a piece of paper and light it, which is probably a little different. So most of the fires now would be like an extension cord that might catch fire. What causes most of the fire now?
Most of them would be an extension cord, or we've seen them where, people just stack maybe books or something that's flammable next to them, and over time with that heat build up, you'll get it, or an animal will knock it over. And cause something there. And with the gas heaters, like you said, you want to make sure that they're vented. If they're still using those, you want to make sure that the vents are good, not to have a carbon monoxide issue.
Right, which is where the inspector comes in, right, Raymond?
Yes.
So you are looking a lot of times for CO2 as well as fire hazards, right?
Yeah, we'll make sure it's not burning too much. Make sure it's in a safe place. Make sure it's not close to anybody. Want to make sure they're off before you go to bed, carbon monoxide and the heaters and all that. So, just be careful on where you put them and how you handle them.
And that's the main thing, is to make sure everything's turned off at night, or just maybe the fire would go out or something, right?
Yeah, make sure you leave the room or go to sleep, make sure you turn them off. So keep an eye on the while you're up.
And look, we learned a lot from hurricanes, right, with generators, CO2. I think a lot of people now have CO2 detectors, right? And that's built into the fire detectors, right?
Most of them are. You can still buy separate units, either the CO detector, or you can buy the combination smoke and CO detectors. And basically, you want to make sure you follow the manufacturer's recommendations when you install those. So you want to have, at least when we're talking about carbon monoxide alarms, is in a central located place in the home and near your sleeping areas. Just like your smoke alarms, you want to make sure you have one. It's very important this time of year. Is make sure you have one in each sleeping area and outside of each sleeping area. So the earlier the warning that you can get from a potential fire, the better off you're going to be.
Silent killer, right?
Yeah, carbon monoxide is it's odorless, tasteless, colorless, and the only thing you'll notice about it is you might not start feeling well. You'll have a headache or maybe some nausea. It can make you unresponsive and you don't even know. So if you're sleeping and you have a carbon monoxide issue, you may not even know until it's too late.
Right. So what's the big concern as we go into temperatures this long? So that people might run their units too long?
No, just make sure everything is vented, and make sure, because those heaters are going to be running for an extended period of time, make sure they have that 3 foot safety circle around. That also includes the fireplaces. Make sure you have that spark screen in front when you're using it. Also, make sure that the vent is open. I know most people close them during the summertime. We want to make sure those vents are open now.
You should know pretty quickly, but yeah, that is a concern, right? A lot of people, especially when it's cold, right? You close that little vent and don't want it to get out. So the temperatures, when it goes this far down, Raymond, does that make any difference as far as your inspections and what you're looking for?
Well, no, a lot of people want to use the ovens and stoves to heat their house, and We don't want to do that. That's where carbon monoxide come in at, and they'll leave it alone or something catch on fire and they have it close to the stove. So you want to try to stay away from that as much as possible. You really don't want to do it at all, really.
Right, but
Yeah.
some people, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, have to do that.
Which, Corey, brings me to the last part. We've been through a lot, right, where, COVID doesn't make any difference, but hurricanes do. A lot of people's houses might be damaged, might have ways that weather can get inside of homes and may make a difference. Are we seeing that at all, where some people's, maybe their houses are damaged or chimneys are damaged, that kind of stuff?
So the biggest thing, and we actually caught one on inspection in one of our firehouses, was roof replacements. When they replace the roofs, they're banging around up there and the vents are getting disconnected. So it's a good idea right now to make sure that your heater vent is connected in the attic and also your chimney.
Yeah, I mean, those are big things, right? And I know a lot of people whose chimneys and the little vents that are on there got knocked off. So I'm sure that's not something everybody's thinking about if they haven't used their fireplace in a year, So that is big. So this year, have you seen any of those kind of things where people called you and take a look?
We've had a few. Like I said, we found one in one of our firehouses was our water heater vent. It was a gas water heater. We did an inspection on that closet, and we found that the heater vent was disconnected. So, so it even happens to us.
Yeah. So 911, if they got to get in touch with you guys?
Yes, if their carbon monoxide alarm's going off or a smoke alarm, get out the house, call 911, and we will be there.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. Y'all stay safe, and I appreciate everything y'all do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back for more Bite Time right after this.